What is up? It is your boy Kakazeus, and welcome to another Gundam Gunpla review. Today we are going to be looking at the Domon Kashu Mobile Fighter God Gundam Real Grade. This kit came out in 2022. It's from my beloved favorite martial arts Gundam anime called G Gundam. Follows a series of a pilot named Domon Kashu who's looking for his lost brother. Who's piloting this big bad Gundam and is into some bad business, and he's competing against, famous piloters across the world for the title or some shit like that. We'll get into it more as we go through the video though, but there he is, all built up, panel line and decal stickered. I'll go into all those things and give you my rating. I can just tell you right now, this guy's already going to be probably rated Zeus tier by the time we're done, but let's go ahead and get into the build process, the articulation, the panel lining, the whole nine that we've already been doing. If you're new to the channel where curiosity gets the best of me, my name is Kakazeus Media. We do fighting games, scary games, anything in between, reactions, unboxings, and Gunpla reviews. If you haven't already checked out my unboxing of this guy, please check it out. We unboxed it. We went into the kit details itself. If you want to know about that, you would have to watch the unboxing for that. And our reviews of the actual kit ourselves, we get into the lore of the Gundam that it's based off of. And then obviously we got some nice outside shots coming, size comparisons. The articulation is probably the biggest standout to me, and the detail. Holy crap, just look at this guy. The GF13 God Gundam, aka Burning Gundam, which will change soon. It won't. Apparently, I think they're changing it to the God Gundam. I can't remember. So the collector shop told me that basically when I was getting the real grade for this guy, that soon it won't say God Gundam anymore, because there's already a God Gundam or a Burning Gundam or some shit like that. I don't remember it, but it might be a bigger collector's box for that reason with the name. But this guy is a titular mobile fighter of G Gundam. It was the second mobile fighter used by Neo Japan in the 13th Gundam fight, and is piloted by Domon Kashu. The technology and combat characteristics of this guy was developed by Dr. Mikamura almost single-handedly and customized for Kashu. Even in normal mode, his power surpassed that of the Shining Gundam's super mode, and it even had a hyper mode to top it off. That's going to be the interior legs. We started with the feet, we started with the legs. These guys are basically mini master grades. This is my second real grade. The last real grade I got was... Wait, is this my first real grade? Oh no, Epion. I was about to say I couldn't find him. He's on my desk. I looked back at my bookshelf for him, but he's on my desk right now at the time of this recording. This is my second real grade. The last one was the real grade Epion. For those who haven't checked out my review for that guy, please give it a look. Definitely my favorite real grade right now, but after this video, Epion's got competition, man. But the chest was equipped with an energy multiplier system, a unique system that allowed energy to be refined in a similar manner to Ki. When piloted by Domo, the King of Heart emblem would appear upon it. It was part of a larger system called the Artificial Aura Generator. The God Gundam was armed with a pair of head-mounted Vulcan guns, which we'll see when we get to the headpiece, a pair of 3-barrel machine cannons mounted on the upper chest, a pair of beam swords known as the God Slash. In hyper mode, it is capable of using a finisher move known as Bokonetsu God Finger, as in redefined, more powerful version of the Shining Finger. His forearms were covered in armor known as G-Knuckles, or God Finger Protectors, which were based on the finishing move of Neo Alina's Gundam fighter during the 12th Gundam fight. I would say this build probably took me a little under a week, because again, I like to enjoy my building process. I don't rush them. I don't build to get to the next kit. I think at the time of this build, I had like 2 kits in the backlog. I had a real grade Sazabi in the backlog, which I've already posted that. That'll be my next unboxing coming up in the next day or so after this upload. There goes the leg done, kind of letting you guys get the Barbados treatment. Like I was saying before, you can kind of simulate battle damage even on this kit, like you would on the previous kit that I reviewed. Amazing color separation. Puts the color separation and detail of the high grade to shame. To shame. It's crazy this guy came out in 2022. But the high grade Gundam, no diss to him, is still good, especially for $25. It's more anime accurate for those who like that. It is technically a little bit bigger, as we'll do our size comparisons and once it's all done. But I do prefer the real grade at the end. The articulation and detail just can't be beat, and I like the realistic look to it. As you can see there, we're working on the knee. Thought that was pretty cool with the color separation in yellow. On the high grade, there wasn't a color separation for that. They just straight up made you put a sticker on there. Surprised that they've all held up. Most of the stickers on the high grade have held up pretty well, except for the shoulder stickers, I would say. They suffer a little bit on the right one. But there's a left leg all done, showing off the articulation on that. All built up, and then there's a leg extension on that one. On the high grade, it was terrible. It barely came out. It was almost like, what was the point of even letting us do this if you're only going to let us stick it out just a little bit? But we're going to get the foot on there that we've already built up as well, and see what that looks like all put together. Yep, there it is. Foot and leg done. Amazing detail and color separation with the whites and the grays and the yellows and the blacks and the reds. Next up, now that we have the legs done, we're going to be working on the torso, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, the waist, that's a sword holder. I'm a really big fan of the color separation in the black and blue there on the waist joint. On the high grade, they didn't do that. You had to basically put black stickers on there to get the black color separation on the blue parts of the high grade Gundam. And next up, now that we have the limbs all done for the legs and the feet, we're moving on to the mid-piece torso. If you guys are still here, I appreciate you. Make sure you got your snacks. We got a nice little solid 20-30 minute video as usual with these reviews. That's going to be the green color separated part on the chest piece where the King of Hearts emblem will be displayed. On the high grade, that is not color separated. That is plain blue. You would need a green shiny marker to make that happen. Thought the detail was pretty cool. The King of Hearts sticker was a little crooked, but I think it turned out pretty okay. Right there is going to be the Vulcan guns that go on the shoulder, and then that's going to go in the chest piece. Lots of detail, lots of color separation. I love to see it. The yellow on the Vulcan guns on the high grade, we actually had to put stickers on those. They actually didn't make them yellow like they did on the real grade. But I definitely enjoyed this build. It's one of those builds that I wish I could do again, but with the shining real grade Gundam out now as of last October, I think or last year at least in general, I don't think we'll have to worry about that for too much further. That is on my list as well. It's going to be the cover for the Vulcan guns as well, and then there's the chest piece all done minus the back part, and then there's the front all finished minus the panel lining, of course. And then there's the back attachment as well that was missing. Now it's all done. All we have left is arm, shoulder, head, and then the jetpack / wings. There goes that part of the arm there. Very, very, very tiny, very, very petite looking pieces. I will go ahead and tell you that the stickers that gives it that mechanical look on the elbow and shoulder joint area, those were off on one arm. I don't know what happened, but once I had the armor pieces put on, it just struggled to keep the stickers on. Other than that, the stickers are pretty decent on the interior, but the detail on that is so insane. Look at that, one arm. Next, we're going to be doing the armor. And then right here, what we're doing is putting on the mechanical stickers. It helps give the real grade Gundams that mechanical look that we know and love. So that's what that looks like. I thought the stickers were really cool. Like I said, unfortunately, one of them was ruined when I was putting the armor on. But overall, the kit turned out pretty good. I can't complain. Next up, we obviously got to put the armor on. Amazing detail in that as well. A little loose, if I must say. I will say that the right arm struggles from what I think I heard someone call the early real grade syndrome. I do think I'm already experiencing that with the right arm. It's very, very loose, unfortunately, compared to the other arm. Like, too loose not to notice. Alright, as you can see there, we're moving our way up to the shoulder joints. I was actually pretty excited to put these gold stickers on. I love gold! I love gold. I love gold. I see gold on the kit. There is a 8 out of 10 chance I'm gonna get it someday. I don't care what the cost is. I want my gold kits. But that's what the sticker decal looks like on there, with the separation for the hyper mode that we read about earlier. Love it, love it, love it. Can't wait to see what this guy looks done, man. Definitely one of my top 3 build experiences so far. I think this is kit number 12, number 10, number 9, and then look how small that sticker is. That was one of those realistic stickers to give it that metallic look that I was mentioning before again. Well, I don't know why we're struggling with that part. I was kind of like, what the heck? But it was an easy assemble. Another perfect build. Another perfect build. I do want to say that off rip. Nothing broken. Went without a hunch. I do like real grades. They're quick to build, but it is easy sometimes to, you know, make mistakes. So you got to be careful. And then that's what it looks like with the metallic metal separating part on there and the shoulder exposed for hyper mode. And now we're going to go ahead and get the God Knuckles equipped as well. That's kind of like what the inner frame of that looks like before we put the blue and yellow armor and yellow claws on there, which also can individually articulate and spread, unlike the high grade. I also learned later on during articulation that the God Knuckles can actually be slid up the arm so they can accurately cover the burning fingers when the 2 fingers are stuck together, like E.T. Home, when he does that burning finger shape. They can expand and cover those hands. I'll show it off before the end of the video. Thumbs up if you are enjoying the Gunpla reviews, and for all things Gundam, I am addicted to collecting these guys. I am starting to see the hype in real grades more and more and more. At the time of this recording, and high grades. I got high grades and real grades on my market. You will be seeing more of those than master grades going forward, because I don't want to get every master grade I want immediately. It's not that many I got my eyes on. Right away. So I want to focus on some real grades and high grades for some variety on the channel, and I'm kind of running out of storage on my bookshelf. Alright, on to the eyes. As you can see, we got the sticker on. I did feel like I had the eye stickers up a little high, so eventually I did end up lowering them. I did forget to put the green stickers on the scanners on the top of the forehead, but we'll get them eventually. But that's the head all done. Whew, so beautiful, man. Look at that. Look at that. All right, let's go ahead and assimilate them and see what it looks like all built up. I can't wait. I'm too excited. Long time coming. And then we'll move on to the jet / wing pack. Can't believe they crammed that much detail in such a little guy. Look at him. I do like the darker blue, the darker reds. He is a little bit smaller than the high grade, but he makes up for it in detail. All right, and last but not least, we're going to go ahead and move on to the jet. I wonder if there's any lore on that. There's that part done right there, all detailed. I just gotta add the wings and then we'll be done with the main body, and all that's left is panel lining and decals. There's a detail on that. The color separation at the tip was a nice touch. Alright, now that we're done with some of these weapons, I'll go into the lore on some of them as we finish up this build. The Vulcan guns on the shoulders. Those are 2 pair of head-mounted shell firing weapons with high fire rate, used mainly for hindering opponents. Oh no, those are on the head, my bad. The guns on the head. The machine cannons are on the shoulders. There are 3 pair of barrel machine cannons are housed on the clavicle section of the God Gundam. What the hell word is that? They are more powerful than the head-mounted Vulcan guns. And then you have the God Finger protectors, which we worked on earlier. Those claws are mounted in pairs of each forearm. They open up when the God Finger attack is performed. Used only once during Domo's rematch against Chariot to gouge out the eyes of the Nero Gundam. Alright, next we're pretty much going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of the final build of the G Gundam real grade side-by-side, a panel line and slightly water sticker decaled high grade Gundam, so you can see the detail in the real grade God Gundam before I add the stickers and panel lining, because once I do, it's going to be a whole different kit. So there they are side-by-side, finally, high grade next to a real grade. That's a 2002 high grade, if I'm not mistaken, versus a 2022 real grade of the same kit. The water decals that I used were leftover water decals from the Gundam Wing Verka. And then of course you see the difference between the extended leg thrusters in the back. I don't know what they were doing with the high grade, but I don't know if maybe I was doing it wrong, but the high grade doesn't come out at all versus the real grade's thruster legs. Ignore them hitting the Michael Jackson lane. I don't know what was going on there, but I just went with it. But there they are, side by side, back to back, front to front, high grade versus real grade, and then the real grade God Gundam paneled, pre-panel, pre-sticker. If you're enjoying this review so far, thumbs up the video. Curiosity gets the best of me. Appreciate the views, and then I'm gonna give you guys some more dynamic shots of these guys, and then I'll show you guys the accessories before we move on to the final details of the kit, and so on and so forth. And next up we have the accessories, starting with the katanas, probably one of my favorite parts of the kit. We are past the popsicle swords that came with some of our other kits, including the high grade. Then we have the burning finger, dual and grip fingers, kung fu hands, fisting hands, sword holding hands, burning finger hand, you name it. All highly detailed, very, very distinct from each other. I definitely like the ET hand one that the God Knuckles wrap around. That's probably my favorite one. I wish we had one for the other hand as well. Maybe I want to do a left-handed or right-handed, but it's fine. Then we have the God ring. And then last but not least, the fighter jet. Unfortunately, I don't have any shots of this before panel lining and water decals, so you are going to get a sneak peek at that right there. And I'll show off some of the articulation in the ship and the wings. The cockpit pops out as well. Forgot to do all this when I was done building it, so this is kind of an after the fact articulation of the jet, and I also didn't know they could be articulated on the stand. So here's some cool shots of the jet. Pretty cool that they actually allowed us to put it on a display stand like that. I do encourage them to do that going forward. It's actually pretty cool that they did that. And then here's the wings, kind of articulated a little bit with the cock pilot open again, and I kind of simulated the space background. You guys like? And then there goes the panel lining of the God Gundam. I don't really have many shots of the God Gundam without panel lining. I kind of got right to it. I was excited. I took some pictures. I did post a post of the God Gundam posted up like Frieza next to the God Gundam doing a Bruce Lee kick, if you caught that post. But that's what it looks like before and after panel lining. I used the Gundam marker you see there to do it, and I kind of did half of each, you know, part of the kit so you guys can kind of see the before and after to make up for the lack of pre-panel line shots. Thumbs up the video if you guys are finding this review handy and enjoying my build and the vibes, and if not, either way, thank you for the views. I appreciate y'all. This kit looks amazing with panel lining. Amazing. Wait till the stickers are on there again. Well, not again, but like wait till they're on there. The detail was insane. And then last but not least, there's the leg side by side panel line before and after, so you guys can just see how much detail they crammed into this 1/44 scale kit. Alright, now we are about 20 minutes into this review. If you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Last but not least, before we get into the showcase and size comparison and final verdict on this guy and articulation, so on and so forth, we got some decals to slap on this boy. But that's what he looks like all panel lined up before the stickers, so you guys can see that as well. One of the cleanest looking kits to date to me. Definitely one of the best kits I own so far. Alright, now introducing in this corner is the God of Gundam, the God of these hands, the God of this ass whooping, the God of articulation, the God of detail, big 2025, the real great God of Gundam, by Domon Kashu. If you enter a karate tournament with giant robot suits and you see this Gundam, just know, your ass is cooked.
I will get rid of them with my own hands.
Your crime shall not go unpunished.
You still haven't figured out my true identity. Let's do it.
Now, fire!
What's happening? They think the planet Earth is nothing more than a playground.
Prove your worth to the Shaolin Temple.
Totally insane.
Take this! My love, my anger, and all of my sorrow! You intend to shoot your own brother? You will never be forgiven!
G Gundam, premiering next Monday at 5, only Toonami.
Did y'all like that little throwback for anybody who actually grew up watching that? It made me feel very nostalgic watching that trailer, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm obviously rewatching it. But there he is, replicating the cover of the box. That was pretty easy to do. He's just crossing his arms, looking very Ura farming like. Definitely like how the lines turned out, the panels, the decals. The ones on the holster where the swords are being kept are peeling off a little bit, but outside of that, most of them are holding. The one on the right interior foot kind of has a little bit of worn out adhesive as well from me trying to adjust it. But mostly pretty successful decal application process. As you can see, the panel lines turned out pretty good. It's one of the most cleanest looking kits I've seen. And now we're going to move on to the comparison to the high grade one last time, this time with the decals and panel lining, so you can see the differences here. you know, pause them as you need to or slow them down. I'm just kind of powering through these a little quick here because we're getting into the beefy review here. And then here are some more cool shots of the G Gundam. And then there were the legs right there. Honestly, I love how much detail they put into that and how much you can actually pull those out and extend them. I don't know why they were so stingy with it in the high grade, but they definitely stand out. I'm proud to say that I put every single decal on. That's the first time I've done that, by the way. Just so you know, I put every single decal available on. Like whatever they told me to put on, it went on. I was not playing about this kit. Got some more poses here that we're doing before we take them outside and articulate them with the high grade a little bit more. And then I want to show off probably one of the most coolest things I've seen in the kit ever that I've never seen any other kit do. Just taking in the detail there. And then one more time before that pose and question, we're going to look at the karate kick pose a little bit more. I'm really impressed with articulation with the kit. With them being so light compared to a master grade, you won't be able to get away with stuff like this because of their size. Look at that, man. Bro is hitting a handstand pose with one hand. Easily thumbnail worthy right there, bro. Like, come on. Any other kit that you know can do this? Let me know in the comment section down below. In the world of Gunpla, both high grade and real grade are 144 scale kits. High grade kits, however, are beginner friendly and tend to be simpler to build with an affordable price point, while real grade kits are highly detailed, more complex, and display pieces that feature internal frames and master grade level engineering. It's a little bit of something for everybody. And then of course, you know, you have master grade, perfect grade, master grade extreme, perfect grade unleash, and then master grade SD. This goes on and on and on, but these two grades here tend to be the most popular, high grade and real grade, for both their scale and in some cases their detail. Now we're going to go ahead and take our boy outside where he shines out in the sunlight because he is the god of the sun after all. We've got the god rays on. I'm going to hit you guys with a couple poses with a little bit of just music and ambiance, and then we'll give you the final verdict on this guy along with size comparisons to wrap up this review. If you're still watching, thank you. Thumbs up the video for more Gunpla reviews on the channel. I appreciate you, but curiosity gets the best of me. We do Gunpla reviews, fighting games, scary games, anything in between, reactions, I draw. Everything you see on the channel, I do myself, I edit myself. I don't commission anyone to do anything but to have a nice day and stay hydrated. And then of course I can't do this without showing off the katanas. You can do a lot more poses with these. I just figured I'd get at least one cool pose outside with them. I probably should have did like one or two more poses with them in general, but they're pretty similar to the God Gundam high grade, but a little bit more on top essentially. It's like a reiterated version of this guy, but I liked how the light of the sword reflects off the lighting outside, so that's pretty cool. This was probably one of my most proud poses that I've got so far out of Outside's photo shoot. Definitely gave me a run for my money though. It was a very, 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 very windy day. Yeah, as you can see. Alright, now moving on to the final articulation, or not articulation, the final verdict and size comparisons. It's going to be the Strike Freedom Entry SD. Side by side the real grade 144 God Gundam. Next we got the first real grade I ever got, the real grade Epion, side by side the real grade God Gundam. Next, we got our master grade Barbatos Lupus, according to the anime, side by side. A master grade for scale next to the real grade. Then we got some extra credit comparisons as well. The armored Funko Pop. While we're going through these size comparisons, I'll go ahead and say that my cons are going to be the early real grade syndrome in the right arm. When you try to articulate it, sometimes the right arm will drop down. You have to arch it just right for it to stick, and even then. The sticker decals were my other con. I wish they were water decals. Some of these did just straight off come off on some parts, and some are peeling off. My pros are color separation and detail. The art, what? My script was not working right. I had voice to text. It was supposed to say articulation, but that shit said art. But detail, articulation, durability, the katana's no longer looking like popsicle sticks. Build, 10 out of 10. Accessories, 8 out of 10. Quality, 9 out of 10. Articulation, 10 out of 10. Final verdict, Zeus tier! I definitely give this kid a 5 out of 5. It's definitely going to be one of the best real grades you can get out there, even though it came out in 2022. Again, there are levels to this: high grade, real grade, well, entry grade, high grade, real grade, master grade, perfect grade. If you're new to this, I'd recommend entry grade or high grade, maybe real grade. If you think that you can handle, the big boy builds, and of course master grade, and then certain real grades. If you guys enjoyed this review and found it helpful, thank you for tuning in. Thumbs up and subscribe for more Gunpla. That's my collection so far. There's the whole Gunpla family right there. I'm going to need more space sooner than later. But that's going to do it for my review, y'all. And where all things get the best of me, that is curiosity. Take it easy, stay hydrated. Peace.